Planning to discuss today, I will try to cover your VPN part. How we can connect the resources of AWS with the on-premise network. Okay, which means let's suppose we are having this kind of infrastructure where so in this diagram we are having some on-premise infrastructure, right? On this on-premise infrastructure, what we are having some users, and this is my AWS infra. On this AWS infra, what I am having my VPC. Inside this VPC, I am having subnets, and in these subnets, I am having these servers. These are the EC2 instances, or these are the servers. Now, now the thing is, if I want to access this server, what is the way? Either I have to just access this server via internet, right? So this is your internet service provider. So if I want to connect with these servers, so I have to go through with the internet, right? But that's not a secure connection. We cannot allow to connect every time with these particular servers through the internet. So the thing is, what we will do, we will just extend our network, and we will just provide the connectivity of these AWS EC2 instances or this AWS VPC with your on-premise network by configuring the VPN kind of stuff. Here we can use, so we are having different ways to configure the VPN. So generally, if I'll talk about in AWS, so the thing is how we can connect. Either we can connect the IPsec site-to-site VPN. In IPsec site-to-site VPN, what we required. So let me just take one picture here. In IPsec site-to-site VPN, what we need, we are having this kind of infra, right? In IPsec site-to-site VPN, we need a one virtual private gateway at customer end, and we need a proper internet connectivity till this virtual private gateway through the customer gateway or maybe through the firewall which we are having into our on-premise network. And after that, like we have did the IPsec site-to-site VPN configuration in our Palo Alto class between Palo Alto to Palo Alto and between Palo Alto to ASA, we will do the same thing here. Means we are connecting two sites here. What are the requirements? These two sites need a proper reachability with each other. And we will use here pre-shared key for configuring this VPN tunnel. And when the VPN tunnel is stabilized, they will able to communicate with each other securely. Means they will just encapsulate all the traffic inside the ESP protocol, and that data go into your encrypted and hashed form. Means encryption and hashing is happens. Okay, so this is the one setup where we have to configure the IPsec site-to-site VPN. Now, there is also one more setup which we can also implement, which is like remote access VPN. So like in Palo Alto, we have done the global protect configuration. It's the same thing. Remote access VPN, what happens? We are having here our firewall. Behind this firewall, we are having our resources. Like this is your inside network and this is your DMZ network, right? And this firewall have a connectivity with the internet service provider, and maybe the user who is sitting into his home or any remote location, if he want to connect with these inside sources or these DMZ resources, how he will just connect with the by using the VPN software. Or in case of Palo Alto, let's say it's a Palo Alto 5, he will connect by using the global protect agent software, and he will just connect with the global protect gateway, and he can able to access all these resources. So the thing is same thing we can also achieve in AWS infra. So in AWS, if you know, we are having our VPC. On this VPC, we are having these subnets. On these subnets, what we are having some resources, right? We are having some users. We are having some users here as well. Now, or users or servers we are having here. And if you want to access these servers, through you any of the remote location. What you have to do, you have to configure the remote access VPN or client to site VPN. So these are the two VPN solution provided by the AWS to connect with your on-premise infrastructure or connect with your on-premise network. The another way of connecting with your on-premise network, you can also use the direct connect. In direct connect, what happens? AWS gives you the dedicated lease line or dedicated point-to-point link. So the thing, all your traffic will go through that link. That DX or direct connect requires so much cost involved. If you want to go for this solution, you have to pay so much money to Amazon.com, to AWS. Okay, so first we will see how we can enable this IPsec site-to-site VPN. Later on, I will try to show you the direct connect as well. We will discuss the theoretical things over there. Okay, so what I can do, let me just quickly go to into my. So these are the different scenario. I am just taking this IPsec site-to-site VPN architecture. This is the architecture where we are having AWS network, right? And here we are having on-premise network. We are connecting with the IPsec site-to-site VPN. Another scenario, you can also use this kind of infra if you want. So here we are having one VPN. So this is your AWS and this is your on-premise network. In on-premise network, see, we are having multiple locations. So we can also configure the VPN with this AWS and with these locations. These kind of things is also possible. And generally, we will always connect like this AWS infra with our data centers firewall through the VPN. And if there any person who is sitting into branch office, he will connect through the data center, and from data center he will just forward the traffic towards the AWS. That is the like recommended solution. We will not create multiple VPN tunnels with every site. Okay. And this is the VPN connection with the redundancy. So what happens whenever you will connect, you will configure the VPN IPsec site-to-site VPN with AWS and on-premise. If you are having two customer gateway, two locations, just configure the two VPN tunnel for the redundancy purpose. And by default, when you enable the VPN, it will try to connect with the two tunnels in single way. So if you are having two devices here and here, then the total four VPN tunnel is established. So in one tunnel one is like active and tunnel two is just for the backup purpose. If this tunnel one goes down due to any reason. So these kind of things also we can achieve. Now what I can do, let me quickly show you the lab on that one. So first let me explain you how I will basically create this kind of infra. So what I will do, I'm having this kind of infra. Let me just tell you. So I'm having AWS network, which is right there, right? This is my AWS network or maybe AWS BPC. I'm having in my PC, I have installed my Palo Alto firewall. I'm using this time Palo Alto firewall. And I will now configure that VPN between my Palo Alto firewall and AWS virtual private gateway. So now let's see that particular configuration, how we can do this lab. Okay. And also let me cover one more thing. So the thing is, when we configure the IPsec site-to-site VPN, what we have to understand the virtual private gateway, customer gateway, and site-to-site VPN connection. These are the three things which we need to understand. So virtual private gateway is the gateway which we have hosted at the customer end. Customer gateway is the gateway where we will put the information of our firewall. and side to side connection we have to create for configuring the VPN tunnel. So let me just show you this particular lab so you will understand everything. Okay. So what I'll just go into my, I am into North Virginia region. I'll go there. I'll go to into my BPC dashboard, and I am having only one BPC. And if you see here on this BPC, I'm using 10.1.0.0/20 range, right? And also, if you remember, in our Palo Alto lab, we are also using the same network 10.1.0.0/20 network, right? We are also having same kind of network. So what I will do, I will create a new BPC for the VPN testing only, right? VPN test. BPC, or let me just BPC VPN, I'll give this name, and here I will use the CIDR range into 172.16.0.0/20 into this range. Okay, I will create few subnet. I will just create this BPC. Now I'll go to into the subnets and I'll just create few subnets. I will select the BPC, which is VPN1, and I'll just create a two subnet here. Subnet 01, put into this availability zone, and here I will put the network 10.1 sorry 172.16.0.0/24. I will add one more subnet, which is subnet 2. I will put into this zone, and CID range 172.16.1.0/24. I will only create two subnets. Okay? I will not create too many subnets here. Now I'll just go to into my BPC. Just select this BPC, and I'll just copy the BPC ID. Now I'll go to into my route table, and I'll just load the routing table on for this BPC. So this is the route table. What I'll just give the name on this route table, routing table for BP and BPC. Okay, this time I will use this main routing table only. I'll associate my subnets on this one. I will associate both these two subnets. I'll go to internet gateway, and I will also create one internet gateway. So if these machines wants to reach till the internet, they can able to reach. Okay. VPN, VPN VPC, internet gateway. I will create it. I will attach this with my BPC, which is VPN VPC. Okay. Now I'll go to into my subnets one more time. And if I select this subnet, which is 172.16.0.0, I just select this subnet into action, and I'll just modify the AWS IP settings. So in this subnet, what I will enable auto assignment of the public IP. This means I want public IP address into this subnet 01, and also in this on the subnet 02. So means my machine also get the public IP. It is not recommended. Generally, all your machine will have the private IP address only. Okay, but I am just going with this setting as well. Okay, so let me just modify the settings, and I'll just select here enable the R-Assign public IP address. Okay, now I'll also go to into my EC2, and I will just install two machines over there. So I'll go to into my instances. I will launch one instance here. So I will just install this Amazon Linux machine only. Next. I will put this machine into BP and BPC, and subnet is 01. And now I'll go to next. Next, I'll just give the name VM01. VM01, and here I have to give the name. Security group, I will use the existing security group. Okay. I will use this existing security group. I will change the settings later on. Okay. Or let me just create this security group. Okay. VPN security group. I'll just give this name, and I will add one more rule where I will allow the communication on port number for HTTP traffic. I will allow, and I will also allow the ICMP traffic anywhere. Okay. Now review and just launch. I have launched one machine. Now I'll go to into launch instance. I will also launch one more machine into another subnet, which is subnet 2. Or this time on subnet 2, what I will just install my Windows Server. Windows Server 2012 I will install. So let me just search Windows Server 2012. I will use this one. Configure instance. I select this VPN, BPC and subnet 2. Next. Next. Tag I will use like name equals to VM02. Configure, and this time what I will use the same security group which is VPN SG, and later on I will allow the RDP on this one, this SG, don't worry. Okay, now I am going with this review and launch. Okay, so RDP is not allowed right now, that's why it is giving that warning, but let me just launch it. I have launched these two machines. I'll go to into my instances. These are two machines. Okay, now I'll go to into my security groups. In the security group, we will get one security group which is for the VPN. Let me just select this one. On this security group, what are the inbound rules I am having? As is for public subnets, and we are having one more default one as well. Okay, let me go to into instance one more time, into this VM1 instance. Okay, I'll go to into my security, and this is the security group. I'll just go to inside this group. I'll edit the rules, and what I will also add one more rule for the RDP traffic. Add, I will select here RDP. I will just select from anywhere anyone can do the RDP on that machine. Save the rules. So, okay, so I have created this kind of topology. Now the thing is what I will do. I'll go to into my BPC here, and now I will just configure my VPN. So to configure the VPN, what I just go to into virtual private gateway, and first I will create the virtual private gateway. So the thing is what I will click on create virtual private gateway. I give them this. This is my virtual private gateway, and I will give the name of my Palo Alto. Okay. Means I just want to create this virtual with the Palo Alto file. I will use here Amazon default ASN. So generally we have to, if we are having any custom ASN, we can use that one, and that range is start from, it's a 60-bit 0 to 65535. So I will use here Amazon default ASN and just create it. So we have created the virtual private gateway. Now you will see this gateway creation is going on. It will take some time. So it is detached. Now go to into action and just attach this gateway with your BPC. So I will attach with my VPN BPC, which we have created just now. Now it is just in attaching state. Now I'll go to into customer gateway and I'll just create one customer gateway. Create a customer gateway and I'll just give the name Palo Alto Firewall Gateway. This is my name of my customer gateway. I will use static, and here I need to put the IP address. But if you remember, in my Palo Alto IP address, I am using 192.168.1.150, right? That's the IP address of my Palo Alto machine. Let me just log in on that one first, just so you can able to see the configuration over there as well. Palo Alto is running. Let me log in on this one. Along with this, let me also start my these particular servers. And let me also start my Windows Server 2012. So we will try to communicate. We will try to access these things. Okay. So I will log in into my firewall. And because when you configure the IPsec site-to-site VPN, you need a static IP address or you need a public IP address, right? Let's see here. So right now, if I'll go into my networking tab, you will see I am having 192.161.150 IP address in my outside interface. And this IP address, this is a like private IP address. And so what I will do, I will just use my public IP address. So from my ISP, I am getting this public IP address. Just copy this public IP address. This IP address will change, okay? But in production, that IP address is fixed, so you have to use that public IP address, okay? I'm using that IP address into my customer gateway. I will select here static routing and I'll just put this one. When you configure this dynamic routing, you have to configure BGP and other steps, okay? Let's go with the static routing. If you don't need to select any kind of certificate ARN, and you don't need to select any device. Just click on create a customer gateway. So now your customer gateway is also in a creation, right? It is available also. After that, when you have created this BP virtual private gateway and customer gateway, what you have to do, you have to go to into your IPsec site-to-site connection and you have to create this particular connection. I will click on create connections. I'll just give the name. I want to create this connection with my AWS VPN, VPC and Palo Alto PA firewall. I just give this name. How I want to configure target gateway type. So transit gateway we will discuss yesterday. Sorry, we will discuss tomorrow, and I'll just select a virtual private gateway. And now I will select this virtual private gateway which we have created, BPG Palo Alto. Customer gateway, I will just select the existing customer gateway which is Palo Alto Firewall Gateway which we have created just now. I will use static routing, and here I need to define the routes for my on-premise network. On-premise network, I am having these routes like 10.1.1.0/24. I am having one more route which is 10.2.2.0/24. I will define these two routes. I will use like tunnel inside IP version. So I will select the IPv4, and all these settings I will leave default. I will not configure any local or remote CIDRs, nothing at all. I will use, so the thing it is asking for inside IPv4 CIDR for tunnel 1, I will just leave it on the Amazon generate this tunnel information and also the preset key. I will not define my preset key as well. I will use the Amazon generated preset key. Just click on create VPN connection. Now connection has been created, and it will take some time in the creation. Select this one. Right now, see, these are the public IP addresses if you see here. Okay, so let me just refresh. Sorry, these are not a private one. These are some different IP address I'll let. So I just refresh it, and you will see now you have done with your configuration at the Amazon side. Now what? Now you have to start your configuration at your Palo Alto site. So what you can have to select this option, download configuration. So the thing is now you have to choose here. If you are using checkpoint firewall at your on-premise network for VPN connectivity, just select a checkpoint and operating system and which version of checkpoint you are using. Just download, so it will give you the configuration of checkpoint. Now if you are using Cisco, which Cisco ASA you are using, ASR you are using, firepower you are using, which version you are using, it will give you that particular script for you. It will give you that script. But what we are having, so FortiGate is also there, F5 is also there, CyberRoam is there, Citrix is there, Juniper is there, Microsoft is there, Open SWAN is there. Now I am using here Palo Alto, so I will select here Palo Alto network, PA series, and the thing is I will select PAN OS 7.0 plus. Click on download. I will select this AWS batch, and I will just download the VPN configuration, save it. Now I'll just go to over there and I'll just open that file. Now this is the configuration which you have to perform into your Palo Alto firewall. So you will get a two tunnel information, IPsec tunnel 1. So these are the tunnel 1 policies. These are your phase 1 policies. Then these are the other stuff like where we have defined low preset key and thing. See, this is the preset key, guys. Then this is for IPsec configuration, and this is the CLI command, guys. Okay. So what? I will just go to into this information and I'll just use my, so I will log in into the CLI of my Palo Alto and I will try to run all these commands. Let's see. Admin and admin. Type here configure. And what is the first command you have to run? You have to run configure, then you have to run this particular command. Go into your Palo Alto and just run this command. Edit. When you will run this command, if you log in, let me also go to into my Palo Alto machine here. I'll go to into network, into iCrypto settings. And by running this command, what happened? This particular phase 1 policy has been created, and group they are using group 2 encryption, they are using AES 128, authentication they are using SHA, and lifetime is 8 hours, which is 28800. This is the thing which have done in a backend. Now I'll go into the same script, and this time what I will do, I'll just select this entire command If you see this particular IP address, this is the local IP address, and this is the peer IP address. And if you see, this is my IP address, right? Local IP address is my IP address. Now I will just select this entire command. I'll just copy and I'll just paste these commands here. So when you will run, there is a one server error, local address is not a valid reference. Local address is IP address is invalid, right? So what you can do, you can first go to into your firewall, go to into this one, I gateway. Let me just go inside this I gateway and I'll check. So this is the name of peer. This is the interface and local IP addresses. So we don't have any public IP address, so we will use this IP address. Okay. And preset key is already set. This is the peer IP address. Now in local identification, because we don't have a static IP address, so here is a trick, guys. We have to just change our things here. And instead of using the IP address, what? Host name you can use, or you can use IP address. Use the IP address here as well. And the thing is, just put this particular peer IP address, copy and put here. And just local IP address here, you have to put one local IP address, which is 192.168.1.150. Okay. And after that, just go to into the CLI. Now just it will ask for the IPsec configuration. Just copy these commands and just paste into your CLI. And when we will paste these commands, if you go to into your IPsec crypto settings, there is a one crypto setting has been created. They are using ESP protocol, and these are the authentic encryption and authentication algorithm along with your group 2 and the lifetime for phase 2. Now go to into the same place and just run this command. So what it will do, edit network interface tunnel units tunnel 1. It will create one tunnel interface. It will set one IP address and it will also set one MTU. Okay, so what I can do, I'll just select, I'll just copy this command and I'll go to into my CLI. I'll just run this command. And meanwhile, I'll go to into my Palo Alto, into network tunnel. You will see tunnel interface has been created. Now I have to also put this interface into my virtual router, and I have to need to put this interface into my zone, which is I will create like VPN AWS. I will create this zone. I'll select this zone. I'll just put here. I have used here this IP address. If you want, you don't require that IP address as well. But let me just use that one. Okay, there's no issue. Now I'll go there. See, it is asking for set this interface as a part of your zone. So we have already put this interface into our VPN zone, right? It is this command will set the virtual router, but I have already selected into VR01. Now network tunnel IPsec tunnel 1, and now these are the things which we have to do. So I will just select this command, copy, and I'll just paste it. What it will do, it has just created the IPsec tunnel setting. If you remember, guys, in Palo Alto class we are having IPsec tunnel. These are the things which it has created. I'll go to into this tunnel. See, it has selected the tunnel interface, and it has selected also these I gateway and IPsec gateway. So advanced, it has enabled this anti-replay attack. Proxy ID is nothing. These are the things which we require to configure here, guys. Now go to into your escape one more time, and after what it is saying, you have to configure your static route. Means we have to configure one static route. So I will only create one tunnel. Okay. And what I will do, I will just go into my virtual router VR01 static route, and I will just add the route of my AWS subnet 01, right? On subnet 01, what I'm having 172.16.0.0 slash 29. But let me, I will add entire subnet AWS VPN BPC route. I will use the entire subnet. Okay. Interface is tunnel 172.16.0.0 slash 20. Interface tunnel, and next hope is I will just use here none. IP address is none. Okay. Okay. Let me just do the commit. So like this, I have added my static routes. Now I need to create a rules as well. So I will show you how we can create these policies. And now they are asking for the second tunnel. I will not configure the second tunnel because I am good with my one tunnel only. And also, guys, try to follow the document like Word document. You can just go to into the Google and just search how to configure IPsec site to site VPN between Palo Alto firewall and AWS. Just also check at least these particular Palo Alto documentation for that. Okay. So if you require to change any, if you want to do any kind of changes, at least you will get the proper idea on that. So this is the Palo Alto documentation for configuring this particular thing. Same thing they have done, same thing here they have done. Local identification and peer identification, they are using this one. And what I want to also change as per this document, so let's, so like there is a one problem, route next hop IP address 00 is not in a subnet of outgoing interface. So we have to also define one next hop. What I can do, even though we don't require that one, but let me just go to into this config and I'll just check my what is the IP address in my tunnel interface. So on tunnel interface, we are having this IP address, right? 169 240 254.69.206. So 206 is here, and 207 we can make it as a next hop. So I'll go to into this. I'll go to into my routing, into static routes. and 207. Because generally it's a /30 subnet, so there are only two usable router, IP address 206 and 207. So let me just also check, like subnet that start from 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I have to use 5 in the other end, not here 7, it's a 5. Okay, okay, let me also add the security policy. On security policy, what I will do, I will just add one rule, allow AWS VPN traffic. Okay, source is outs, source is, let me just, source is inside or DMZ or AWS VPN. In destination also, I will select these three zones. So I just want to allow the bidirectional communication between these zones. Application any, service any, just action, just allow it. Create that rule. I will put that rule on top. Now I'll just do the commit. And let's test it out, this thing. It will work or not. I'll go to into my IPsec BP internal settings. Let's wait this commit to complete. I'll go to into this window machine. Okay. And meanwhile, this commit is going on. I will also go to into my AWS, and what, everything is available now. What I'll go to into my routing table of my AWS, into this routing table for this one, into routes, and I'll just add routes here. I will add 10.1.0.10.1.1.0/24. I will just add this route pointing towards the virtual private gateway. Select this gateway. I'll add one more route for 10.2.2.0/24 subnet. It is reachable towards the virtual private gateway. And I will add one default route pointing towards the internet gateway. So I have modified the routing as well. Now in EC2 machines, let me just go to into my instances and I will see what is the IP address I am having in my instance. Detail. And this is the public IP address 172.168, right? So I'll go to into my inside system. Let me just try to ping on 172.16.0.208 with -t. If ping will not work, which means there is no VPN connectivity, means proper VPN is not established. I'll go into my firewall right there. I'll just refresh this thing. See, tunnel is come up. Tunnel is come up means tunnel is come up, and the thing is, which means, okay, this device is start pinging. Means from my office network, I can able to reach my AWS machine through the VPN tunnel. And now if I'll go to into my another, into my AWS, into second machine, And if I'll just put this IP address, because this is a private IP address, right? 172.16.1.35. If I'll go into that machine, if I'll try to ping that machine 172.16.1.35 minus T, I can also able to ping that machine, means my data is flowing through the VPN tunnel. Okay. Meanwhile, now what I will do, I am having this blue server as well, right? Where I am running web services. And also on this server, I am also running the SHS services, right? So what I will do, I'll now go to into my, let me just log in into these machines. I'll just copy this one. I'll just take that private public IP address of that machine. Even though I can also able to log into this machine by using this IP address. Okay, let me just try doing this one. I'll go to into my, so what, let me just also start this window XP machine. I will try from there. What I need to only copy the key. So where is that key? Let me just copy the key from, so this is the PAM key. Let me, this key I will copy, this one for putty. Okay, I'll go there, insert admin at 123. So this is the way how we will configure the IPsec side-to-side VPN between your Palo Alto firewall and between your AWS infra. Now what I will do, I'll just open my putty. I'll just open this putty. Before that, let me just put that. Let me just copy this particular 26 gen file. I'll just put this file here. Okay. Now what, I will open that putty, and the thing is, if you see here into AWS, this is my Linux machine which is having private IP address, which is 172.16.0.208, right? So I'll just go to over there. I'll type 172.16.0.208. This is the IP address, and I will select here SHS and authentication. I need to browse that particular 26 gen key. And here how I will log in, I will log in as a EC2-user at the rate IP address, right? Accept it, and connection not support authentication method. Okay, let me just refresh one more time. Let me just restart. So the thing is, there is a proper connectivity, but maybe due to some reason it is not connecting on the SHS. Okay, so what I can do, I will use my putty from here, from my main system. I will just connect by using the public IP address. Okay, it will login. Let me just check one more time. EC2-user. Okay, I think we have put here wrong username, E2, right? We have to put here EC2. Let me open this one. EC2-user at the rate 172.16.0.208. That's the private IP address of in SHS. I have to go to into authentication. I have to browse this particular key. Open. This time I will able to open. See, I got the access of my Linux machine from my main system by using a private IP. This is how, because right now I'm having a proper VPN connectivity. If you want to see the details, you can go to into your Palo Alto into monitor tab. You will get the logs. You will able to see the logs here. Just filter the logs on the basis of this particular rule. See, there is just so much traffic is going on, which is hitting this particular rule. SSH traffic is there. right? Now what I can do, I'll go to into that into my machine, and what I will just install some HTTP service over there. Yum install httpd-y, and I have to run here sudo. It will install the httpd into my Linux machine. And after that, what I will just run this one service httpd restart, or service restart at http. That's the command. Service restart httpd. I think there is some mistake in the command. Systemctl status sudo service httpd restart. Now service has been restarted. Okay, now if I'll go to into this window machine, if I'll open my browser, because I have just configured the web services, right? So if I'll type the private IP, which is 172.16.0.20, I can able to access the web page. See, I am getting this web page, and this web service where I am running into my AWS infra. Now what I will do, from my remote desktop, I will open one remote desktop from my main system, and let me just connect with the another AWS machine, which is we have implemented as a Windows server, right? So I will just use here public IP address. Okay, put that public IP address. Administrator, administrator, and what I have to do, I have to also go to into this. I have to go to into connect. I need to generate the password, right? Username is administrator and get the password, and to password I need to browse the key. Into this batch I'm having this PAM key. Select this key, and I'll go little bit down, decrypt the password. 26 batch PAM key. Let me now decrypt the password. So this is the password. I just copy this password and I'll go to into this one. I'll just paste here. Okay. Now I am able to connect with this machine via RDP. Let's wait this one for this machine to come up properly. And okay, if you want, you will see right now I'm on my AWS machine, right? If from this AWS machine, if I want to connect with my one of my server, which is I am having into DMZ, by using his public IP, private IP address, which is 10.2.2.101, I can able to log in. SHS, then VMware at the rate 10.2.2.101. Let's wait this one. I will just click on yes. Right now, okay, let me put the password. Password is VMware. Right now I'm on my Linux server. If you see, if I'll go to into cd/websites, sudo, let me just sudo, then su, Now I have logged in as a root user. Now I'll go to into slash directory ls-la. I can run whatever I want, right? In this file, I am having also some web services and lots of things are running. And right now I'm into my this particular server. Right now I have logged into this server. If you want, if you go to into where www my sites, you will get these two files. How you can verify? You can just go to in slash where slash www ls, go to into your my sites, and you will able to see these allow list and block list. Means we are into the right server. Let me just exit out. I will exit out from here, and I right now I have logged into my Linux machine. So here I have enabled the bidirectional communication, right? Now let me just see if this machine, okay, this machine also come up. Let me go there. If I'll go to into this one, let me open the Internet Explorer. So let me just, this cannot be opened, okay. So what I can do, I have to go to into my search option here, and I will just type here I explore. It will open the Internet Explorer, okay. And from Internet Explorer, if I'll type a 10.2.2.101, I can able to access my web server which I have hosted into my DMZ zone. Okay, it is opening into the Google, but I want 10.2.2.101. Same thing I will type here 10.1.1.221. Let me also try this one. This Internet Explorer having so much problem actually. It is not working as per the expectation. Let me just close this one, and what I will do, let me first try to ping from here. Just do this, open and try to ping to 10.1.1.221. So ping is not working, which means there is some issue with the VPN connectivity. And if I'll also try to ping to 172.16.0.208 that machine, I can able to ping that machine, but it should ping to that machine as well, okay. Otherwise, let me just check. So what I will do, I'll go to into my, so this machine getting IP into 172.16.1.0 range, right? And if I'll go to into my Palo Alto firewall, traffic coming from this machine, okay. If I'll go check my routing, so I have to just verify all these things guys in this way, okay. So 192, that's the, these are things, this thing is correct here. We don't require to use this one. I'll go to into IPsec crypto I gateway. Here I have defined this one is correct. So we have to also enable sometime net traverser, okay. Just enable the net traverser. We are using here main mode, but VPN is working fine. Maybe there is some issue that machine, due to that reason that machine not able to ping. But from this host, If I'll open the CMD, if I'll try to ping to 172.1.35-T, I can able to ping that machine. That Windows server I can able to ping. See, now ping has been started. So there is some connectivity issue, right? As soon as I have initiated the ping, see, it is working. Sometimes it is just breaking. Now if I'll go to into this one, so maybe this is happening due to some ARP issues and all, but don't worry. Whatever we want to achieve, we have able to achieve it. Explore. Let me open Internet Explorer one more time. This time what I will do, I'll type a 10.1.221 and I will able to open my IS server which I am running into my Windows Server 2012 on this machine. Even though if I'll go there, if I'll type a 10.2.2.101, I can able to open my web server which I am running into DMZ. Skill Inspiration Academy. This is my server 01. So now I am having the proper connectivity between my Palo Alto firewall and my AWS. Now this is how we will configure that particular VPN, guys. Okay. Now I am just disconnecting this one because these are the things which I need to show you. So what now the thing is, as you know, these are the paid services. Okay, just remember. Let me just stop all these machines. I don't want them to be running here. Let me also stop my Palo Alto because I have done with the Palo Alto configuration as well. I will just keep running this machine. Let me also stop this one. Okay. Now the thing is we have successfully configured the IPsec site-to-site VPN between our AWS infra and our Palo Alto firewall. And when you are configuring, if you face any challenge, just try to follow the documentation as well. Okay. Now what you can do. So the thing is I have successfully configured my VPN, that IPsec site-to-site VPN. Now I also want to tell you how we can configure the remote access VPN. So the thing is, if people who is working from home, if they want to connect with your AWS resources, they can just connect through from any remote location with the AWS VPN gateway for the remote access. So now, because this VPN is a like paid service, so just you can whatever you have created, just delete it first. Delete this one. Go to here and just delete this one as well. For detach from the VPC, and after that delete this virtual private gateway and also delete your customer gateway. These are the things you have to delete, otherwise they will charge some money. VPN service is a paid service, guys. Okay, now I will show you the how we can create a point to site VPN. So I will just close this one as well. I have written all the steps how you will do that lab of IPsec site to site VPN, so you can follow these notes. Okay, now let's discuss IPsec client to site VPN. So for this IPsec client to site VPN, what I will use the EC2 instance, which is Open VPN Access Server. I will just run this particular EC2 instance into my AWS infra. So the thing is, let me just show you one diagram I'm having. I will use that particular diagram. Just copy this one. And we have already discussed this thing, right? So I will not cover the theoretical part. Let me just start with the practical directly. What I have to just go to into my AWS console, which is right there, into EC2 console, into EC2 instances, and you will see we are running two instances. Now just launch one instance here. Go to into community AMI, just type here open VPN access. Also just go into marketplace. Yeah, in marketplace you will get this open VPN access server. So the thing is, whenever you will install this particular open VPN software in your system, what you have to do, you can able to connect with by using this with the from remote location. So you will see multiple open VPN connections here. So like by using this one, you can able to only 2 users can able to connect. When you will install this one, so 10 users can able to connect, mean 10 devices can connect. If you use this one, then 25 users can able to connect, and all these are available, free available. Okay, if you want the other solution, open access server 5 connected devices, this is for free trial. Then 100 devices connected, right? So you will see multiple AMI over there, but just use this one for your testing purpose. Select this one. So it will give you the details, right? You can, these are the instance type. So the thing, if you use a T2 micro, then it will charge 0.012 dollar per hours. It's a very, very less cost, guys, right? So the thing is, what we will do, we will just install this particular machine into T2 medium. I will not go with T2 micro, because in T2 medium, I will get the better performance. Okay. So I'll just select here, continue. So you have to wait here. And see, by default you can get this T2 micro, but if you go with this, your VPN become very slow. So I will use here T2 is small, either I can use, or either I can use T2 medium. I will just go with T2 medium. It will charge some money, but it is okay. Maybe it is charge only 10 rupees or 5 rupees, like that. That's not a big deal. Just select this VPN BPC and just put this EMI into subnet 01. If you want to create a new subnet, you get the option, just create new subnet for VPN only. Select your BPC, which is VPN BPC, and just select one VPN subnet, or just write here remote access VPN subnet. Select here availability zone 1F and use here 172.16.15.0/24. I'm using the last octet. Create the subnet. Subnet is creating now, and it is created. Now go there and just refresh this one. Select this VPN BPC and select your remote access VPN subnet here. Use the subnet setting disable. So I will enable the public IP, because I want one public IP address into my VPN instance. So I will select this option here, auto assign public IP address, and I'll leave all these things default and click on next. Leave the storage default, click on next, and just give the tag here. Just give remote access open VPN access server. Just give this name. Next. So the thing is, just just select here security group, create a new security group only. It will create one security group automatically and will allow these particular port numbers. And because why it is allowing these, like SHS, HTTPS, then custom TCP for 943, 945, and 1194, because it will use these ports for the communication purpose. Review and launch. Select your key pair and launch this instance. Okay, now go to into your instance. Just refresh this one. Now your instance is running. Just select this instance. Okay, and this instance gets the public IP address and also private IP address. So what you have to do, you have to select this instance, go to into actions, and just go to into networking and change source and destination check. You have to disable this thing. You have to stop this source and destination check. Click on OK, save it, and after that, just get this IP address, copy this IP address, and just connect with this VPN gateway. The username is OpenVPNAS at the rate. This is the username for login into your VPN server. OpenVPNAS. And you have to type the public IP address and you have to select into your auth code authentication. You have to select that key. Just open. Right now we are into your OpenVPN gateway. Now we have to configure this gateway. So please enter yes to indicate your agreement. Means whatever agreement they have given. So this is the agreement. And whenever we will install any software, they give some kind of agreement, right? To run a command as administrator user root. So use sudo then command. Main sudo.root for more details. This is the detail. You will get all the detail. Username is OpenVPN Authentication is imported key. All these details you will see here. Now go to into down and do the thing. Just type here yes. Enter. Now will be the primary access server node. Enter node to configure a backup server. So this is a primary server, right? I will just use here yes. And please enter the option number from the list above. All interfaces or Ethernet 0/0 means, so I will just enable this all interfaces. I will just specify all interfaces here. I will just hit enter it because one is already selected. So this particular, it will select this IP address just for admin web UI. If you want to log in into this one, I will use both the things. Okay. Now please enter the option number from the list above. So what is the option number? 1. Okay, then it is asking for which port number we will use for admin web UI. If you add any admin want to access this one, so please enter the default. I will use default 943. Please spell the TC port number for the Open VPN daemon. Means that Open VPN server on which protocol. So I will just go with 443. If you want to change, you can change it. Should client traffic be routed by default through the VPN? Yes. Press enter for the default. So I will just click on enter here. So DNS traffic be routed by the through the VPN. Yeah, just enter. Use local authentication via internal database. Click enter. Should private subnet be accessible to the client by default? Yes. Enter. Do you wish to log into the admin UI? Yes. Please specify your activation key or leave blank to specify later. Just enter this one. Now it is just initializing this particular software. So these are the things which you have to do. Generally, you just go enter, that's it. Now, if you want to access the admin page, you have to just log in into this particular URL. Just copy this URL and just paste this URL into your. This will give you the web UI of your. So the username is Open VPN AS and password is I don't know. So let me just go to into this one. So if you want to see the release note, just check this one. If any client wants to log in, what clients needs to use this particular URL. client will use this URL for login into the web UI of this VPN. This is 943 and this request also 943. This is for clients. Now what you have to do, guys, go to into this VPN, just add the username. User, add one username which is VPN. You open VPN, I will just give this one name. So user open VPN is already exists. So what you have to do, just sudo. Let me just go there, cd slash. Right now I'm on a slash directory. Now I'll go to cd slash home, and in home I will just run this command ls, and there is a one username is already there, open VPN as. Oh, sorry. Let me log in one more time. Just close this Palo Alto one. Open VPN as. At the rate, I will put the password of this machine. And authentication, I have to select auth, browse this particular key. Okay, I'm just looking for what is the password I will use for the admin username. I'm not getting here. No problem. Okay, so I have disabled this one. Now I will connect with open instance, and username is this and password is this one. Okay, now I'll just create this password. So what I have to run, there is a one username is already created, open VPN, but this particular software support two usernames. So let me just add one more username. So I will just run this command, user add. Let me add one username which is test. Permission is denied because I will not able to access this one. Let me just run this sudo user add. So now user has been added. Now I will just sudo pass wd and test. I will just configure the password for sudo user. Admin at 123, admin at 123. So I have successfully configured the password for user test. Let me also configure the password of your open VPN user. Open VPN. And password for this one, I will just set admin at 123. Admin at 123, and password for both users has been set it up. Now I'll go to into my this particular URL, which is IP address then 943. So I will able to get this page. Now here I will log in as a user. Let's wait this one. I will just put here test, username is test and password is admin at 123, sign in. Test admin at 123, open VPN admin at 123. Let me just try with this one. I get the access. Okay, I get the access of my page of this VPN. Now see the thing is, now what I need to do in remote access VPN, I have to install one software, right? Open will connect recommended for your device. So the thing is, you will also get, you can install these software into Apple, Linux, Android, iOS operating systems, right? So what I will just install this particular software. Will download it. So I need to install this remote access VPN software like we will did for in case of Global Protect, right? We will install the software for your Global Protect client. So it's a big file. I hope it's a 58 MB of file. So we have to wait for this download to be complete. So the download is going on. When download will complete, what I will just start accessing this particular I will just connect with my VPN. I will able to access my internal resources. So meanwhile, what I can do, let me just AWS Open VPN access server default password. I will just looking for the default password which I can use for logging into the UI of this particular device. Setting up VPN options. To access the admin web page, point to the public elastic IP address that you assign to this one. Okay. So the thing is, I have successfully downloaded this particular OpenVPN software, and also I have just logged in with the username which is OpenVPN and password is admin@123 into this particular UI. I will click on agree. Now I can able to see the details of this EC2 instance from the admin page. Now what? Let me just install this software into my system. So I need to install this software into my system. I'll just go and it's run anyway. It is giving that warning because it will create some interface, some like that virtual, we can say, nick card in my systems, and also it is okay. So now I'm just installing this software into my main system. Yes, and finish. Okay, so now I have just installed the this, and this is the like web page of your, if you want to see the user management and other stuff, you can just check all these things over there. One username is already there, right? You will see the other details. This is for configuration management, network settings. So let me just go to into the network settings, and this is the IP address of your public IP of your machine, and these are the other parts. Both we are using both multi-daemon. Let me just go to into VPN settings, and here we will get the VPN related configuration details. So this is the network which is accessible through the /20 is the dynamic IP address range. Routing, we are having routing for this network only, using net, so only this network is accessible. So if you want to configure split tunneling and all, you can able to do that. DNS setting is enabled. Yes, if you want to enable the other, like client use the DNS host name and these kind of things, you can also do that, but I will just go with the default settings. Okay, in advanced VPN, just go to into advanced VPN, maybe you will get the other details. Interconnect communication, multiple session per user, all these kind of settings also you can able to configure, so if you want these kind of solution into your infrastructure. This is for web server related details. Okay, if you want to manage the certificate and all, you can also import and export certificate here, because in SSL VPN or remote access VPN we need a certificate kind of things, right? Right now VPN service is running, we can able to connect only 2 users. Right now there is no users has been connected. So now let me just see. So I have successfully able to install that software. Now I'll just search for Open VPN, and you will get this particular application here. Just go to inside this application, and what, just type the host name or IP address. Just agree. Okay, and you will already get this particular 34.226, then to dynamic IP address. Okay, this is already a, and if you see here 34.226 to 33 and to 1 to 34.131, that's the IP address, right? So you are connecting with the right profile. Select this. Just put the username which is open VPN and password is admin ad123. Okay, and now it is just connecting. Now we have just successfully connected with our. Now if I'll go to into my web browser, if I'll just see the IP address of this Linux machine, which is 172.16.0.208, 172.16.0.208, I can able to access that web server by using the private IP address. Means I am having the proper VPN connectivity. Even though if I want to do the remote access of my another machine which is right there, by using the private IP address, I can able to do that. Dot slash administrator, and I will just put the password is. So what I have to decrypt that password, I will go to into connect into RDP, get the password. I will browse my PEM key. I just decrypt it and I'll get the password, which is this one. I just put this password. Let me just select my remember my credential and just right now I have logged in into my BM2 by using its private IP address, right? And these are the, this is the same thing which we have opened all these details later, right? So now I am having access of my office resources from my main system. If you go to into your main system, if you open your command prompt, if you write here route parent, that command if you run, just go on top, and you will see into your routing table there is a one route got installed for 172 network. See these routes you will see here, and also let me show you there's one adapter will also get ncpa dot cpl. This is your ethernet adapter, this is your ethernet 3 window adapter kind of thing. Go to into this adapter. See, you are getting IP address into this range 172.27.232.2. And from where this IP address you are getting this IP address from your OpenVPN connection. If you see here, OpenVPN connect. This IP address, this is the next net mask. And apart from this, if you go there, you will also get the routing as well. 172.16.0.0 is reachable via this adapter. This is your VPN adapter gateway. Okay. Now if I'll close this one, if I'll go to into this admin, see right now if you refresh this one, let me just click on current users. You will see there is a one user is connected whose name is this, whose IP address is this. And if you see here, if I'll type in my IP address, see I am having this IP address 139.5.253.107, 190 139.5.253.107. That's the IP address. That's my public IP address. That is the IP address which is given by the VPN, given by this VPN to my system. Okay. These are the bytes and other stuffs. Log report, just go to into log report. You will see some logging information as well. This is for log report. Just a status overview. Let me just go there. Right now one user has been connected, right? So you will see all these kind of details, guys, here. Into configuration, if you go to into your network settings, see this is the IP address of your VPN device, public IP address. And I'll just want to see the pool actually. Then go to into VPN setting. Let me just show you that particular pool. See, we are getting IP addresses from this pool 172.27.224.0. That pool is automatically created by this particular VPN device for you. If you want to modify, you can have that option to modify it. What? Let me just modify it. Let's suppose I want the IP address into this range 192.168, then 40.10 to 10 40.0/24. I want into this IP address into this range only. In that case, what you have to do, you have to just change this one and just save your settings. The active profile default has been modified and set. Update the running server. Just update the information into your running server. Now this time your people start getting IP into this range. So what I will do, I'll go to into this software, just disconnect it. Okay. Let me just reconnect one more time. I will just put the username which open VPN and password is admin at 123. It's connecting now. It's connected. Let me just see what are the other details, statics and all. You can see these details as well here. These are the other settings. If you want to check, you can check. Okay, this is a log file. Now what I will do, if I'll go to into this admin dashboard one more time, if I'll go to into the status, into current users, right now there is a one user having IP into this range. And if you go to into your CMD, if you type ipconfig and you go to into that adapter which is there for your VPN connectivity, see Ethernet 3 is the adapter and it is getting IP into 192.168.40.130. You can also check these things right going into here ncp.cpl. See, this is the IP address now. So this is the way how we can modify the pool. Okay. And if you go and if you run this route print command right now, if you click over there, if you go to into your routes, let me just go on little bit top. See, this is the range, right? On BPC, I am, and it is reachable via this network now. 192.168.40.130. So this is how we can also change these particular things, right? If you want to modify the other stuffs, like if you go to into your configuration, into advanced VPN, you do got a options for changing the other part as well. Let me just go to into VPN settings here. Routing. See, right now it is pushing this particular entire route, right? But what you want only it can push only one route into this range and another route into 172.16.2.0/24 range, because we are having all our machine into these two subnets only. We don't want to, or you can also specify this one 0.0.0.0 means all traffic of your user will go through the VPN tunnel. If you want, you can also specify this tunnel all kind of settings, but I will not specify this thing, otherwise I will also got disconnected with you guys. What I want, because all of my machines are into this subnet only, on this one 1.0/24. So I will just define these two subnets. This is your split tunneling, guys. Save your settings and just update your running server. Okay, so previously what we are getting this particular entire route, right, of /20. At this time, if I'll go to into my VPN software, if I'll disconnect, I'll open it, if I reconnect one more time by using this open VPN, and username is admin add123. If you guys will also someone try to connect, you can also able to connect by using this IP address, right? So I have got connected. If this time I will just run this command route print. If I'll check the route this time, still I'm getting the route from this one. Let's see, maybe after some time this route will removed and there is a one new route that's got installed. Okay, so this is the setting which we have configured this time, right? We have only defined these two routes. Okay, so this is the things we will basically configure on this particular VPN gateway, and we will use all these things to connect with your servers. We can, like, all the users will connect with your servers which you have hosted into your DMZ zone. Okay, so guys, if you have, let me just show you in the current users tab, and you will able to see right now your user got dive into this range. Okay, and this is the status overview. And if you will try to test this one, you can able to still you have access of this particular machine. We will also have access of our machine which we have deployed into our, which is in AWS this Windows server. Okay,